When the Honorable Minister of Power said, we know ourselves, you know the eyes are the silent orators of the mind. Everybody started laughing because really, we know ourselves. At this point, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank the gentlemen of the media. This is the much we can take for today. We want to thank you for your time. I want to thank the Honorable Minister, our Dr. Musiliu Oseni. I thank you for actually briefing us.
Minister of Power briefs media on developments in the sector, assures of deliverables to enhance improved power. All right, you're welcome to the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. We are reaching you live from Abuja. I am Dennis Adegunloye. President Bola Tinubu thanks Mr. Jim Obaze, former Chief Executive Officer of the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, FRC, for his services as the Special Investigator of the Central Bank of Nigeria and other related entities upon his appointment on July 28, 2023. In a release by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngalale, President Tinubu commends Mr. Obaze for the dedication and professionalism he exercised in handling the complexities of the critical national assignment. Subsequent to the conclusion of the assignment and the submission of a final comprehensive report, and with the winding up of all apparatus used during the scope of the task, which terminated on March 31st, 2024, the investigation is formally closed, with all appropriate law enforcement and regulatory agencies already conducting follow-up action. The executive order on oil and gas, reeled out by President Bola Tinubu, will make Nigeria a hub for oil and gas investments. Pengasyn President Festus Osifo, who welcomed the development, however expressed concern about infrastructure deficits in the industry. Lydia Sampson reports.
As key players in the oil and gas sector, the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association, Pengasyn, is highlighting industrial concerns sacrosanct to its members. The president, Festus Osifo, told journalists in Abuja that though there are positives recorded in the industry, occasioned by ongoing reforms, the visible negatives, like crude oil theft and pipeline vandalism, cannot be allowed to continue.
This act of sabotage disrupt production and result in revenue losses for government and the oil companies. Addressing these issues require a comprehensive approach that includes improving environmental degradation, investing in social infrastructures, strengthening security measures, promoting local content development, increasing investment in the sector.
Osifo also says Pengasyn wants total implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act.
We aim to streamline our operations, maximize productivity, and enhance overall performance, which will lead to improved efficiency and effectiveness of our operations.
He urged government, both tribal and state, to rise against institutional corruption by preventing and enhancing transparency and promoting ethical behavior across the country. He's optimistic that empowering media and civil societies, deploying technology and education as powerful tools for tackling corruption must be prioritized. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, says infrastructure deficits are being addressed in the country's power sector, with efforts to replace transformers installed in the 60s still in use in some parts of the country. The minister said this during the ministerial briefing in Abuja, anchored by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris.
Facts have shown that in the past, privately run businesses, they do better, they perform better than government businesses. So it was not a wrong decision to privatize some section of our power sector value chain. But the efficiency and the effectiveness depend on the execution of this privatization, which is what this administration is working on.
we have to correct all the deficiencies. Our power sector is so unique that every segment of the sector is unique. If you pick generation, is jointly owned. In fact, it's 3 types of ownership. There are some power plants that are 100% privately owned. Geregu is there, Omotosho is there, Omotosho and Geregu one. Azura is there, Sapele is there, Transcorp Power is there. There are some other sets that are owned by federal government but concessioned to a private operator. That is basically our hydropower plants. Jeba is there, Kanji is there, Shiroro is there, Kashimbila is there.
This is one of the platforms that the Ministry of Information and National Orientation has put together to ensure that all ministers and other very senior government functionaries have the opportunity to talk to Nigerians through you, members of the press, to answer questions about government policies and programs so that Nigerians will be better informed. Like the Honorable Minister has said, this only affects about 15% of the electricity consumers, and Nigeria can no longer afford to pay about 2.9 trillion naira annually to subsidize power. This, of course, will bring down the cost of subsidy to about 40%. I'm sure about 1.1 trillion or thereabout will be saved annually. This money will be put into other sectors of our economy.
Minister of Information and National Orientation speaking earlier, Mohammed Idris. In the meantime, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has fined the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, AEDC, 200 million naira for failure to comply with the prescribed customer ban classifications for the new tariff billing. The decision follows a detailed review and customer feedback, which revealed that AEDC had applied the new tariff to all customer bands, contrary to the order which was designed to ensure fair billing practices. The Commission directs AEDC to reimburse all customers in bands B, C, D and E, respectively, that were billed above the allowed customer categories and tariff bands provided in the order. All reimbursements shall be issued to the affected customers by 11th April 2024, and evidence of compliance with the directives on fine and reimbursements be filed with the Commission by the 12th of April 2024. The Commission says it is committed to protecting consumers' rights and ensuring equitable practices within Nigeria's electricity sector. In other news, the National Rescue Movement, NRM, is urging the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to immediately upload the name and credentials of its governorship candidate, Dennis Aikoriogie, among those participating in the September 21st governorship election in Edo State. The party members, during a protest at INEC headquarters in Abuja, questioned the exclusion of its candidate, claiming he was legitimately elected at the party primary. Joseph Otsen reports.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, on March 31st, 2024, displayed the list of candidates of the 17 political parties participating in the September 21st governorship election in Edo State. But the name of candidate of one of the registered political parties, National Rescue Movement, NRM, was missing, to the surprise of some of the party members.
Dr. Dennis Osaron Aikoriogie, who duly participated in the legitimate primaries monitored by INEC from national headquarters. It's in the line and the guideline of the INEC that once your name is political party name is published, listed for primaries, you are statutorily bound to conduct primary for that political party.
We'll listen to what we are saying, and if it is within the preview of INEC, INEC will deal with it. You'll be invited, or you'll be replied accordingly, and at the end of the day, I think everybody will be happy. But I promise you, we are not going to be biased in anything we do. We operate based on the laws.
The protesting NRM members hand over a protest letter to to the commission, seeking INEC act fast in investigating what led to the exclusion of the party global candidate and do the needful. In Abuja, Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
The National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILDS, in collaboration with the UN Women in Abuja, wants a review of security sector legislations to become more gender responsive for optimum results. This was at a stakeholders meeting on enhancing gender responsive security operations in Abuja. Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports.
Taking stock of successes recorded in the last 2 years on gender responsiveness, the Director General, National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, says is to increase women's effective participation in peace and security processes, peace and conflict resolutions.
These we consider very fundamental because social cohesion can only thrive in an atmosphere of inclusion where every group in the society is being taken into consideration in the process of policy formulation, policy making, and policy implementation.
UN Women representative assured continued support to Nigeria to overcome its security challenges, which women are the worst hit.
I therefore call on all the legislators and other stakeholders to support the amendment of these security laws to further enhance gender-sensitive environment for maximum efficiency and effectiveness in the security sector institutions and the society at large.
It is expected that the initiative will give birth to a 2-year project that will help transform Nigeria's security sector and legislature favorable to women in the decision-making process. In Abuja, Mohammed Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
The Katsina State Government is partnering the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, towards unlocking significant potentials of small and medium enterprises to job creation and fostering homegrown technologies in line with the federal government's renewed commitment to employment generation. This was at a digital capacity building for SMEs organized by the agency in the state. Awal Haliru now reports.
SMEs constitute a substantial portion of Nigerian business ecosystem, contributing about 48% of the nation's gross domestic product (GDP), according to the International Labour Organization. These contributions supported employment generation, innovation and creativities in the small and medium enterprises sector. The 2024 Digital Capacity Building by the National Information Technology Development Agency with the theme Unlocking Potential is for the SMEs to embracing the digital innovation to have access to other markets as well as optimize efficiency of operations.
What I see today is a great opportunity for our teaming youths in Katsina State.
People will be encouraged and know how to use social media very well.
The program is to empower the SMEs to strive in the modern digital age, where the training encompasses a wide range of technologies that will enable businesses to streamline their operation.
The theme is to enable the micro, small and medium enterprise towards leveraging technologies to create prosperity.
Underscores our commitment to unleashing the latent capabilities of these MSMEs through the adoption of digital innovations.
Katsina State Deputy Governor urges the SMEs to indulge into various facets of the digital innovation and explore practical strategies that will assist them to leverage the technology effectively.
You should know that you have the support and encouragement of the entire community behind you. Let us unlock the full potentials of SMEs together through digital innovations.
The capacity building program also serves as a platform for collaboration, networking and knowledge exchange among stakeholders in both public and private sector. In Katsina, Awal Haliru, NTA News.
You are watching the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. More reports after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Talking environmental matters now, the rainy season is gradually starting in Osun State. Flood-prone areas and people living in communities along riverbanks are apprehensive of the perennial destructive nature of floods. Kayode Oladoshu in this report takes a look at efforts put in place by the Osun State government to mitigate flooding.
It has been a yearly occurrence in some parts of Osun State to witness flood in the aftermath of a heavy downpour. The downpour, which causes overflows of most rivers and streams, has rendered some residents homeless, destroyed farmlands, as well as some public infrastructures. With the onset of 2024 rainfall across Osun State, the state government has commenced dredging of rivers and other waterways to combat flood in the state.
The approach we adopted this time around is to open all the receptacle rivers within the state, and majorly Osun River, we are realigning it to pave way for large volume of water. And it is not limited to the state capital. We are moving around all the nooks and crannies of the state.
The effort is applauded by the residents.
This is a very good work government is doing now. I think it's a welcome development for the society.
It's almost every year. But about this dredging now, we are very happy of what government are doing to help us enlarge the river so that the river can be flowing freely without affecting our building and some other things. We are very happy about it.
In light of this, the state government urged residents to avoid dumping waste on waterways, while those living along floodplains were advised to relocate. In Oshogbo, Kayode Oladoshu, NTA News.
Now, the Students' Loan Scheme is being applauded as a veritable tool for encouraging indigent students in the country to acquire education. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria also believe the scheme will deepen patriotism among beneficiaries. Lydia Sampson tells us more.
The Students' Loan Scheme is open to all Nigerians in public schools. It was also described as a revolutionary step by the president to support less privileged people acquire education. These are submissions of the Minister of Education, who joined the conversation on Good Morning Nigeria. He provided more insight on the scheme.
It's also expanded to include not only those in those formal institutions who have mentioned, but actually the students who are in and skills acquisition institutions which are approved by the government. And this is a very huge step. And so it's an extremely revolutionary step by the president.
An educationist and a student union leader also applauded the scheme, noting some students impeded hitherto by cost of schooling can breathe a sigh of relief. They, however, say, like any unfolding scheme, grey areas must be critiqued to make it better and sustainable.
The process from the beginning must be thorough. And it is to make sure that the people who are getting this money are people who are dedicated to their studies, by making sure of attendance, at least that first semester of you, of coming to school. There must be a track record that you are faithful in coming to school.
The sincerity of the management of institutions across the country not to use the students' loan. After all, how many students are going to get the loan? There are some who will never get the loan. So if you use the idea of some are going to come using the students' loan to hike, then there are those who might not be able to pay. One thing I believe is we need to just focus on how we can make our educational system better.
They appeal to leadership of institutions to be deliberate and diligent in appropriation of the resources that will accrue from the Students' Loan Scheme, and not see government's magnanimity as a reason to increase charges for students. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives says it will provide all legislative support to make the Students' Loan Scheme operational within the shortest possible time. Chairman of the House Committee on Student Loans, Boyega Isiaka, stated this while addressing National Assembly correspondents on the expected commencement and modalities of the scheme. He expressed confidence that the Tinubu administration will soon constitute the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, stipulated in the Act, assuring that the student loan scheme will offer both economic and social benefits to beneficiaries when fully operational.
Law provides that the board will from time to time, at least once a year, reel out the guidelines for the loan every year. I mean, the whole essence of this is, number one, is about cost sharing. Number two is also to give the students the opportunity to also have a say into their future. Now, if you want to go and read engineering and the cost of engineering is so much, and you feel that your parents cannot afford it, therefore you want to, because of that, go to business admin or go to sociology. Now you have opportunity to go and read your engineering because you know that at least you'll be able to access a loan. At the end of the day, both the government, the parents, and the students are all contributing towards educating a child.
Boyega Isiaka, the Chairman House Committee on Student Loans. Elsewhere, the Nigeria Police Force has denied a document in circulation purportedly containing conclusions of an investigation into allegations against the Ondo State Governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, alleging fraudulent misrepresentation, certificate forgery, examination malpractice, and perjury against the governor. A statement by the force Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi indicates that the said document did not originate from the Nigeria Police Force. The statement notes that a Deputy Commissioner of Police does not have the authority to release such a report on behalf of the Force Criminal Investigation Department or any other departments within the Nigeria Police Force. Meanwhile, the force says it is currently investigating the origin of the said document and the circumstances surrounding its circulation. It, however, urges the public to exercise caution and refrain from spreading unverified information that could potentially tarnish the reputation of individuals or public officials. Now, the true essence of religious setting the tone for community and global peace is gradually taking the front seat and putting everyone in the mood of natural compliance without sentiments. This played out during an interfaith breaking of the 25th countdown to the end of the 2024 Ramadan fast organized by the Al-Habibiyya Islamic Society in Abuja. Tokbe Alabi reports.
Christianity and Islam have been inseparable from time immemorial, sharing love and charity together, but avoidable situations now threaten the bond.
Habibiyya means pivot of love.
This is what Al-Habibiyya Islamic Society is changing, using the holy month of Ramadan as a unique platform to exemplify tolerance and love using the instrument of iftar.
One of the essence of Ramadan is that it guarantees peace and tranquility in the world. If it guarantees peace and tranquility, does peace and tranquility is meant only for the Muslims?
The three Abrahamic religions all agree with the same account of creation. The Bible says God created one man and one woman, and there's a name, Adam and Eve.
All stakeholders, I want to appeal to you, I want to appeal to our politicians to be careful with what they do and what they say. Don't break this country.
In the Surah 5, Ayat 48, it was not intention of God, Allah, to make us one religion or one tribe. That's one in Surah Al-Ma'idah. It's a beautiful verse.
Everybody enjoy peace. It's good for the mind and for the soul and for the body.
To leaders of religious adherents, the interfaith approach to peace should be sustained for a greater understanding of Allah's love for mankind.
Respect everybody in their place of worship, respect everybody's religion and their way of life, and pray for everyone.
This is a very wonderful fellowship that Nigeria needs, especially at this time.
We don't have time for conflict. It doesn't help anybody. Pope Francis calls it the defeat of humanity. We're all defeated if we cannot take care of ourselves.
And beyond that, we want to see where Nigerians are keepers to one another, are helpers to one another, and we cannot reach there without creating more love.
Beyond the meal of the interfaith iftar is to build on mutual understanding, coexistence and respect for human dignity while strengthening the bond of unity. In Abuja, Tokwe Alabi, NTA News.
And that concludes the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adegunloye.